On this edition of City Focus, the Mayor of Valdosta visits local 6th graders to inspire creativity. Detective Sabrina Smith is named Officer of the Year and talks about her time with the VPD. EMA Director Ashley Tye discusses emergency preparedness, and we give you the latest details on this year's Azalea Festival. These stories and more on this episode of City Focus. Welcome to City Focus here on Metro 17. I'm Michael Hawkinson, Media Coordinator for the City of Valdosta. On Friday, February 6th, people got to experience the new Art Walk initiative. This event, as part of Main Street's First Fridays, encourages people to celebrate local art while enjoying the atmosphere of historic downtown Valdosta. The event, organized by the downtown merchants, was the first of 4 quarterly art walks that will take place this year. Taking place a week before Valentine's Day, the inaugural Art Walk featured the theme of love, which was reflected in the art that was promoted during the event. In addition to paintings and photography, participants could experience wine tasting at a variety of the participating locations. For more information on the Art Walk, I spoke to Missy Smith, coordinator for Valdosta Main Street.
Art Walk kind of was born in Kaleidoscope Art Gallery. We were talking about how to breathe some more life into another art event that used to be downtown called Art After Dark. So we decided that we would showcase the local artists downtown and put it on First Friday and see if we could make a go of it. And that's where it began. And then the wine. Of course, the wine came in afterwards, which seemed to be very successful. So we had well over 100 people there, and we raised at least $1,000. I'm waiting to see how much more money we have coming in from the other areas, but well over $1,000 for the Public Art Committee, which is a great event. We had a whole bunch of people in the stores. There was 20, 30 people in each store, and all enjoying the art and everything else that came along with downtown this weekend. There was a lot going on. You could see all the little ones in their outfits ready for father-daughter dance, and they were all enjoying the Benny's Alley artwork that's out. So it was just really nice to see everybody downtown and enjoying the night. Well, the next event will be just a little bit different. So each one is themed. This one's theme was love and kind of playing into Valentine's Day. The next one is kind of going to be a schools out bash. So it'll be a little bit different. We're still going to have wine. We're doing a wrap-up meeting this week, and then we'll put together the plan for the next one. But each of the art galleries will showcase something different next time. So it should be new.
For more information on downtown Valdosta and for a schedule of upcoming events, including the next Art Walk, visit valdostamainstreet.com or call the Main Street office at 229-259-3577. You may have noticed, either around town or here on City Focus, that Valdosta's firefighters have a new look. Late last year, the VFD traded their old uniforms for new sets of polo shirts and BDU pants. The new uniforms add a variety of colors to the fire department, though the hues serve a more practical purpose. Each color signifies one of the divisions of the fire department. White shirts are for captains and higher, red is for the Special Operations Division, black shirts are for the Training Division, green signifies the Prevention and Inspections Division, gray represents operations, and the administrative assistants sport fuchsia. I spoke with Chief Ronald Screen about the updated uniforms.
Basically, we just wanted to update our look a bit and also create a separation amongst the divisions in the department. So that was one of the reasons. For comfort, we changed our pants to a BDU style pant, which is a little bit more effective in operations and things like that. And we also changed to a polo style shirt. It actually saved the city some money, as well as create a different and updated look for the Valdosta Fire Department. It's an updated material. It's a little bit cooler. Of course, we're in South Georgia, so they're a little bit cooler. They dry out a little bit faster and easier, and it's a little more comfortable than what we were wearing, according to all of our personnel. So there are some advantages, and honestly, some of the guys just think we look cooler. So we buy uniforms. At the very least, we try to buy uniforms once a year, sometimes twice if we're able to, and it's needed. So it's money that we're spending every year anyway. The cost, there's not much of a cost difference. As a matter of fact, we saved a lot of money in going this route. And I believe that these pants are going to last us a little bit longer than the ones we were buying because it's an updated material, ripstop material, and things like that. So we didn't necessarily spend more money. We just changed what we were spending the money on. Well, we just hope the public is pleased with our new look. We hope that everyone is enjoying the things that the Valdosta Fire Department is doing now. We're open to the public, so if they have any questions or any needs, just call upon us and we'll see what we can do to help.
February 22nd through the 28th is celebrated in communities and businesses throughout the U.S. as National Engineers Week. The celebration of Engineers Week focuses on the exploration of and education on the role of engineers and how their work shapes the world in which we live. We here at City Focus would like to take this opportunity to recognize the city's engineering department and all the work they do to maintain and enhance the quality of the city. To discover more information about Valdosta's engineers, including services and current projects, visit the engineering department's page on valdostacity.com. Valdosta's Mayor, John Gale, visited J.L. Newbern Elementary School to inspire the 6th grade students there to get creative and write a submission for the If I Were Mayor essay contest. Speaking to the students during their lunch hour, Mayor Gale gave the students a pep talk which included details on how the students can enter the contest.
How many of you would like to, one of these days when you grow up, be mayor? Okay. It's not a bad job, I assure you. Well, so those of you that would like to, all of you that would like to be mayor, you have an opportunity to write an essay about if I were mayor, what I would do. And it has to be limited to 350 words, and you're competing against people right here in Valdosta as well as in our region, which includes Barron County and Adel and Brooks County and other areas around. And you know, last year we had a winner from the region. So it means that it's really easy for you to compete and to win. This girl that won last year was from one of the schools here locally, and she won the region, and she went to Atlanta and competed. She won $250, and she went to Atlanta and competed for another $250. So see what it means. You get a bond, a savings bond for $250 if you win the region. Now, if you win locally, we'll recognize you at City Council meeting on April the 23rd. And so you'll be able to come up and see what we do at City Council. But you write the essay, 350 words or less, if I were mayor, and you tell me what you would do. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of good ideas that come from you 6th graders here and in other schools in the city. So I'm looking forward to reading them. I read them every year. I read the winners, the top 3, and some more every year, and I take ideas from those. So I'm anxious to see what all of you have to say this year. You get your teachers, your counselors to help you if you need be, and they have to be turned in 1 month from now. You got until March the 7th to turn them in. So be sure and go ahead and start on them. You can take a few days to write them. You don't have to sit down and do it all at once. You might think of something else a week from now. So you be sure and write that essay. I want to see a lot of them this year. I forget how many we had last year, but 400. So, and those will be judged, not by me, but the judges will be appointed, and there'll be people from VSU and other, maybe high school counselors or whatever, that'll judge those. Everybody has an opportunity to win.
Sixth graders from public, private, and home schools should submit entries by March 6th to the City of Valdosta Public Information Office, If I Were Mayor Essay Contest, 300 North Lee Street, number 102, Valdosta, Georgia 31601. Contest entry forms can be found on www.valdostacity.com/publicinformation. For more information, contact the Public Information Division at 229-259-3548 or at smatthews@valdostacity.com. And stay right here, because when City Focus returns, we'll meet with Valdosta Police Department's Officer of the Year.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Welcome back to City Focus. This month, the Valdosta Police Department will be honoring the Valdosta Rotary Club's Officer of the Year. I'm here with the recipient, Detective Sabrina Smith. Now, to begin with, you were nominated and chosen for Officer of the Year by your fellow officers at the VPD. How does that feel?
It's a humbling experience, you know, when you think about all of the other officers that work here that are more than worthy of being nominated and, of course, awarded the Officer of the Year for the Police Department. Just to be named that from among your peers, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
And when did you learn that you had been selected to win this award?
I was actually out of town. I was in Panama City doing an investigation on a sexual assault of a minor case. And my commander called my sergeant who was there with me, and she was like, "Is Sabrina there?" And of course, you're trying not to listen, but at the same time, there's two bosses talking, so you know, kind of inherently are being nosy. And she was like, "Is Sabrina sitting next to you?" And he was like, "Yeah, she is." He said, "Are y'all alone?" And it was like, oh God, what in the world is happening? And so he put her on speakerphone, and she said, "Hey, got something I need to tell you." And it was like, oh boy, you know, especially doing what I do, investigating major crimes, and you know, being 3.5 hours away, having a family, you just never know, you know, what could be going down, or what could be going down with this case that I wasn't made aware of until then. And she told me, so it was like, yeah, whatever. Because we play jokes, so it was like, whatever. And then she was like, "No, I'm serious. I'm letting you know because they're getting ready to send out an email about it." And so I was kind of, you know, you're excited, but at the same time, I'm here to do a task. But then it's like, okay, well, when's the email going to come to verify what she's saying, so I don't get overexcited for nothing? So it was great. It put excitement on a trip that was really, you know, heart-tugging and emotional, especially when you talk about a child being the victim of a sexual assault. So it kind of was the balance for what was a bad trip from the start.
I guess that learning that your work had been awarded really helped out emotionally at that time.
Oh yeah, it put me on a high. I was at that point. It was like, let's go. Where is he? I'm ready. Let's do this. But at the same time, for that day, it was more of thinking back in gratitude of how, you have a firm work ethic. You have, a high standard of living. And to know that out of all the people that are here, and like I said, do a great job at what we do, making me emotional now, to just know that I was chosen. It puts you on that plane of, what I do is appreciated and is recognized. And not just by your family members, but by the people you work with who do just, as much work or more work than you do. So it was really wonderful. Still is wonderful.
Now, you've been working with the Valdosta Police Department for 8 years. What has it been like working with the VPD?
I started out in 2006 as a patrol officer, went through the academy and in patrol. And then there was an opening for the school resource officer, and I really put in for that without an expectation that I would get it, because you had to be employed with the police department for a year before you were considered eligible for a transfer. And so I put it in, just thinking, okay, I'll put it in, that way I can let the powers that be know that I was interested should it happen to come along at a different time. And I got a letter saying that I was going to go to the schools. So I spent 3.5 years there, which was exciting, working with kids and being able to influence their lives and hopefully, make a difference. And to be able to separate, not really separate, but to bridge the gap between the police and this particular generation of kids. And it's a very difficult thing to do, because you have to overcome this great stigma that the police are all bad and they just want to lock you up. So to be able to stand in that position and serve in that position for those 3.5 years was extremely rewarding, because you meet some that are troubled or what's considered at risk, and then they go on to college and graduate, or you have some that are extremely smart and already living out their potential, and they go and they remember you and they come back and visit. And so it was a great experience. And then I applied for the detective position first, but then I withdrew my name because I felt that I didn't want to leave at that time. I wanted to make sure that when I left, it was the right timing, because timing is everything. And so then when it came back around again, I reapplied for it. And that was in December of 2009 when I started in investigations. And one of the things that I really prayed for is that I didn't want to come to investigations and just do any type of investigations. It had to be dealing with juveniles, because that's my heart, that's my desire, and that's my passion. And so when I had the opportunity to come, and that was going to be the guarantee that I would be working with kids, then I accepted the position. It came up in December of 2009. And when I tell you it's been a ride, full of excitement, you have, again, the ups and downs, because you're dealing with the worst things that can pretty much happen to a person. Typically things that leave them traumatized for years to come. It's not, my tires got flattened on my car, or my car got damaged. It's people who lose their loved ones, whether it's, just natural causes, or homicides. You have the rapes, the violent rapes, You have the child molestations, the child abuse cases. So they're emotional crimes just at its core. But then when you add the fact of having the, I don't want to say satisfaction, but I think it's the excitement and the comfort in knowing when the offenders are arrested and you can go back to those families and say, we worked hard and we got them. You know, those are the moments you sit back. Because during the cases, it's you have a goal. And that goal is, you know, to bring justice. But after, you know, it's that sigh of relief of knowing, hey, I've done something worthy of being able to exhale now. You know, you don't exhale during the investigation, at least I don't feel like I exhale, but, you know, having that time of being able to go back and bring that news to a family versus your son has been shot or your daughter's been shot or your daughter's been raped. You know, being able to come back and do that it's what you live for when you get into this, is being able to make a difference. And it, you know, you have those, and you have giving out Christmas gifts to low-income families during, you know, Christmas time, or, you know, giving out canned goods during Thanksgiving holidays. Doing those things, you know, people a lot of times that doesn't get in the news. It doesn't hit the front page of the newspaper. But you have a lot of officers that do that. And so we're making a difference one life at a time. And to me, that's the most valuable part of doing what I do.
And I know the City of Valdosta thanks you for what you do. Congratulations for the award, and thank you for speaking with me today.
Absolutely.
On February 19th, Detective Smith will be honored at the Law Enforcement Appreciation Dinner sponsored by the Valdosta Rotary Club. Stay tuned to City Focus, because we'll be right back after this short PSA break.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Hey, my name's Katie, and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student, and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie, if you want me to, like, you know, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to City Focus. Here in Valdosta, there are multiple opportunities for citizens to get involved in the community by serving on the city's boards, commissions, and authorities. On this edition of City Focus, we'll take a closer look at Valdosta's Zoning Board of Appeals. The ZBOA is comprised of 8 citizens, 4 appointed by the City of Valdosta and 4 by Lowndes County. The Zoning Board of Appeals is tasked with hearing variance requests to the development standards of Valdosta's zoning ordinance, in addition to appeals regarding the staff interpretations of said ordinance. For more information about the Zoning Board of Appeals, I spoke with its chairman, Alan Strickland.
Zoning Board of Appeals is the board that handles any variance request to the Valdosta or Lowndes County zoning ordinances. The most common are setback variances for construction on sites setback to roads. It can be parking variances for businesses that feel like they don't need the parking that is required in the zoning. It can be any land use type regulation where the owner or developer or whoever it is wants to request relief from some part of the zoning ordinance. Normally it would come before our board. The board members are appointed by the Lowndes County Commission or the city council members. It is a requested type of appointment. The person, myself, or any of the board members, we will prepare a questionnaire, fill in a questionnaire to the city requesting to be appointed to the board, and the city council or the county commission, in case of county appointees, will decide who they will appoint. The appointments are for 3-year terms. You need to be a city or a county resident, preferably have some kind of background in business or developing or construction, something like that, to sit on this particular board. You just need to be a knowledgeable, level-headed kind of a person, listen to the facts when they're presented, and try to make a reasonable decision.
If you're interested in serving on the Zoning Board of Appeals, fill out a board application form and Code of Ethics form found on valdostacity.com. Return both completed forms to the city clerk at 216 East Central Avenue. For more information about the Zoning Board of Appeals, call the Planning and Zoning Division at 229-259-3563. The city would like to remind citizens about proper public right-of-way maintenance. According to the City of Valdosta's Land Development Regulations, Title III, Chapter 332, it is the responsibility of the landowner to maintain the portion of public right-of-way adjacent to their property, between the right-of-way line and the street curb or edge of pavement. Grassed areas shall be kept mowed and maintained in the accordance with the same standards required for private property maintenance prescribed by the City of Valdosta Code of Ordinances. I met with Richard Hardy, Director of Valdosta's Public Works Department, to get a better idea of what this regulation means.
Yes, to create the confusion of the responsibility of the property owner and the residents. It's pretty simple. The residents, property owner need to maintain their property all the way up to the sidewalk. If there's no sidewalk, then they maintain it all the way up to the curb, and if there's no curb, they maintain it all the way up to the street. Now, if there's a sidewalk and there's a median between the sidewalk and the road or the curb, Public Works takes care of that area. So basically, Public Works takes care of everything to the left of the sidewalk. So if the residents were to maintain their areas, keep everything up to par in those areas, Public Works, as far as the right-of-way maintenance, we'll take care of the rest.
For more information on the City of Valdosta's land development regulations, visit valdostacity.com. To find a complete list of the city's regulations, find Community Development under the Departments tab. From there, you can access Planning and Zoning, then click on Land Development Regulations. Though Valdosta just experienced 2 separate tornadoes this past December, in the southern states, the typical tornado season begins in February and extends through May, with its peak in the month of March. With this in mind, it's important to be ready for severe weather situations as soon as possible. To learn about how families and businesses can prepare for the possible storms, I asked Ashley Tye, Director of Lowndes County Emergency Management Agency, for some advice.
Well, one of the first and probably the most important things is to make sure you have a plan of what you would do at home or especially in your business. Where are you going to go if you got notice that there was severe weather coming? When you've got a tornado bearing down on you, that's not the time to start thinking about that. You're going to be under so much stress as it is. You're not really going to have time to think about what to do. You need to have a plan and be familiar with that plan and have exercised it. We do tornado drills in schools a couple of times a year, but it's not just something for school kids. It's something that's good for every citizen, either at work or at home, to make sure you know where you'd go. One of the key elements of that plan is, it is great to know where you're going to go, but if you don't know that something's coming, then you're not really going to be ready to jump into action. So in addition to having a plan, we want people to stay informed too. And there's lots of ways. NOAA weather radios are a very inexpensive way to get the alerts directly from the National Weather Service. Of course, we all know that the emergency alerts can go out over the TV and radio stations as well, but in the middle of the night when you're asleep, that's not going to work. So NOAA weather radios is great. Also, Code Red is a great service that's available free to any resident of Lowndes County, including the municipalities, where you can sign up, and it gives you severe weather warnings and other type of emergency notifications directly on your telephone, through text message or email. As soon as those alerts are issued, And the great thing about those is those can be dialed down. They're specific to your address. So if your address is not inside the area where the severe weather threat or the emergency is taking place, then you won't get that phone call because you don't need to. It's not something that you need to be concerned with. We want to kind of make it to where it's gets the message out as quickly as possible, so we don't want to waste time calling people that aren't affected, and that's going to delay getting the message out to the people that are affected. Because a lot of times things can and do happen during the daytime. So as part of your family plan, you also want to have a communications plan, because it's one thing if you're at home and everybody's together, then you kind of know. But if everybody's spread out and mom and dad are at work and the kids are at school and everybody's kind of spread out in different areas, you want to make sure that you've got a way to get in touch with each other and let each other know you're okay. So one easy way to do that is to have an out-of-town contact. So maybe you can't get in touch with each other here in town, but you can call a friend or relative out of town. Everybody knows to check in with that person, and they can kind of serve as the conduit for making sure everybody's okay. But also, some of the same things you still kind of want to have a kit together. But when you're at work, businesses, it's also important for them, businesses to have a plan not only for what they're going to do for their employees and their customers during the disaster, making sure that they're safe, they have a safe place to go. But then once the storm has passed or whatever the emergency is, they've got to have a plan to make sure they can open back up, because that's their livelihood. And the community depends on, economically, we depend on them being in business to support the community. So making sure you've got a plan for, a recovery plan for how you would open back up in a timely manner. And so some of the simple things check and make sure you've got adequate insurance. Set up what we call continuity of operations plans, where maybe this part of the building is unusable, but you've got a plan in place that you can quickly set up your operations and set up business somewhere else. So there's a lot of different aspects like that go into a business plan that obviously wouldn't be in a family plan. Talking about coming up with your plan and knowing what you're going to do. A lot of people say, well, where do I need to go? We're talking about tornadoes. That's kind of the most recent thing on everybody's mind. So what would I do in the case of a tornado? And like I said, if you don't catch all this, you can go to ready.ga.gov, and the Ready Georgia website has a lot of information. But the key thing to remember when you're talking about tornadoes as we get into the upcoming tornado season is, you want to get inside, get into a sturdy building, and you want to get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. The tornadoes don't really come through and just pick the house up and throw it away. It's usually it's the debris that's flying around that's picked up by the tornado that does most of the damage. So you want to get in an interior room, usually a hallway, maybe an interior bathroom or a closet, and make sure you want to try and, if possible, get somewhere that doesn't have any windows. That debris comes in and breaks the window out, and then that flying glass can cut you. And something a lot of people don't think about. We have seen, like I said, we have seen several tornadoes recently, and there are several in our historical record. When you're building a house, when you're building a business, a church, school, whatever, I would encourage everybody to be thinking about that emergency preparedness up front, and make sure when you design that building, we have a lot of places that are designed because they look nice, and a lot of open space floor plans. Well, that's great. As far as for entertaining, and it looks pretty, but it's not very functional during a disaster. So start thinking about building a safe room, and on the front end, if you're building a house, it's very, very inexpensive at that time to go ahead and reinforce like a walk-in closet, and that makes a great safe room for a tornado, and be big enough for a typical family of 5-6 people. Even that large, and just gives you that peace of mind so that if something happens, tornado comes, then you've got a safe place to go. You may lose, tornado may wipe your house out. There's not a whole lot we can do for that, but we want to make sure we take steps to protect life and protect our citizens as much as we can, and that's a real simple thing that people often overlook.
For more information on how you can prepare for this year's tornado season, including tips on creating an emergency supply kit, visit ready.ga.gov. Additionally, citizens are encouraged to sign up for Code Red alerts through lowndes.county.com. Before we head into our last PSA break, citizens are reminded to protect the quality of the city's stormwater by keeping your car in good shape. While these two topics may seem unrelated, in reality, a poorly maintained vehicle can leak oil and other hazardous chemicals which can find their way into the catch basins through stormwater. However, there are some simple measures you can take to prevent this very situation. Start by having your vehicle serviced regularly. Tune-ups can reduce the amount of pollutants like hydrocarbons that vehicles produce, which can pollute both our air and water. Be sure to repair leaks as soon as you spot them. If you regularly see spots on your driveway, then something is leaking from your vehicle. Any spots or spills can be cleaned up with cat litter, bagged, and then placed in the trash. If possible, recycle any oil you use. Motor oil can be reprocessed, so put used oil into a sealed container and take it to any community oil recycling center. When it's time for a new battery, don't just throw the old one out. Old batteries can release toxic chemicals that soak through soil and contaminate groundwater. Plus, improperly disposing of a battery is breaking the law. Finally, use commercial car washes instead of washing your vehicle on your own. These facilities are designed to capture dirty and soap-filled water and send it on its way to a wastewater treatment plant. For more information on the city's stormwater utility ordinance, contact the Stormwater Division at 229-259-3530. And stick around because City Focus will be right back after this short break here on Metro 17.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already outplaying him. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Photographers looking for an opportunity to put their skills to the test are invited to participate in the 7th annual Valdosta's People Choice Photo Contest. One change to this year's contest is the addition of categories sponsored by local organizations. The categories for this year are Colorful Camellias, Inspired by Nature, Patriotic Valdosta, Spirit of Titletown USA, and Downtown Valdosta, Fun, Flair, Flavor. Photos must be submitted to the Turner Center for the Arts by May 29th. All entries will be displayed in the center's Tillman Gallery beginning June 15th, where the public can vote on their favorite photos through July 15th. The photographers with the best photos from each category and one overall Best of Show will be recognized by Mayor John Gale on July 20th at 5 p.m. There are some guidelines that photographers should be aware of when pursuing that perfect photograph. As expected, all photo submissions from any category must be taken within the city limits of Valdosta. For the Inspired by Nature category, photos must be taken within any VLPRA park or facility. Photographers may submit 5 entries with a limit of 1 submission per category. For more information about the photo contest, including details about the categories, call the Annette Howell Turner Center for the Arts at 229-247-2787 or the Valdosta Public Information Office at 229-259-3548. For applications, visit valdostacity.com/publicinformation. As we head toward the end of February and the beginning of March, we draw closer to the 2015 Azalea Festival. Last year, over 22,000 attendees and over 150 vendors from 9 states visited Valdosta to enjoy the 2 days of fun and entertainment. This year, the festival will be held on March 14th and 15th and feature new attractions and some returning favorites. For more information, I spoke with Executive Director of Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful, Aaron Strickland.
What the Azalea Festival is a local, it started off as a local, now it's more of a pretty big regional arts and crafts festival. It's held here in Valdosta, generally on the second full weekend of March. This year it's going to be held on March 14th and 15th at Drexel Park. Saturday the hours are going to be from 10 until 6, Sunday 10 until 5. And what this represents for the community is, 15 years ago Joanne Greiner had the vision that Valdosta and Lowndes County needed some sort of festival to bring people out, first thing in the spring there and give them a reason to come out and celebrate their community. And we've been continuing this tradition now for 15 years. This is going to be the 15th annual Azalea Festival. And it's just going to be a real big weekend. We got a lot of stuff going on there. We have 5 full stages of entertainment. One is going to have our bands on it. Another is going to have our community dance groups, cloggers, and those sorts of things on it. One stage is going to be Wild Adventures. They're going to have entertainment there. Another stage area is going to be our Paul Bunyan Lumberjack Show, sponsored by the Langdale Company. That's backed by popular demand from last year. And our 5th stage area is over in Kids Zone with our disconnected canine Frisbee dogs. In addition to all this entertainment that I spoke of before, we're going to have over 160 arts and crafts vendors, a international food court. Parks and Rec is going to be bringing their mobile tennis court out, and it's going to be set up on Brookwood on Saturday. And on that same section of Brookwood on Sunday, we're going to have a classic car and bike show. And just, so much going on. Wiregrass Technical College is going to be there with a plant cell. They're going to be set up doing that. And over in the Kids Zone, we have some new attractions over there. Again, I mentioned, backed by popular demand is that canine Frisbee act, disconnected canines. And some new attractions are, we're going to have a carousel over there, a barrel ride, waterboat ride, water ball ride, pony rides, rock wall, inflatables. We're going to have 5 different inflatable bounce houses over there. And just a ton of stuff for people to do and enjoy. I hope that the festival is growing every year. We don't have a single point of entry for the park, so we can't get an accurate head count. So we like to, dance around in approximations, and approximately you have 20 to 22,000 people that are there throughout the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And with increased visibility of the festival, and this being its 15th year, and more people learning about it, hopefully, those numbers will continue to grow. Again, with so much to do, it's a good way to come and make Valdosta and Lowndes County a destination for that particular weekend. In addition to the Azalea Festival, that's also going to be the opening weekend for Wild Adventures. So, we encourage people to come out, spend a day at the festival, spend the next day at Wild Adventures, or half and half, or whatever you like to do. There's tons of great hotels and motels here in town, tons of great restaurants. So, now this would just be a perfect time for folks to really make a whole weekend out of visiting Lowndes and Valdosta.
For more information about the 2015 Azalea Festival, including vendor applications and guidelines, visit azaleafestival.com or call 229-269-9381. The deadline for Government 101 Citizens Orientation applications is quickly approaching, and there are few slots remaining that interested citizens can fill. This program grants participants the opportunity to gain an inside point of view of how the city operates by interacting with members of the various departments that comprise the City of Valdosta's government. The program will begin on April 6th and meet 6 consecutive Mondays from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Application forms are available at Valdosta City Hall, the Customer Service Center, or the Public Information Office, or download an application form from valdostacity.com/publicinformation. Completed applications should be returned to the Public Information Office, Valdosta City Hall Annex, 300 North Lee Street, Room 102, by the March 20th deadline. For more information, contact Public Information Officer Samantha Matthews at 229-259-3548. And with that final story, we wrap up this episode of City Focus. Please visit our website at valdostacity.com/metro17 to view this and previous episodes of the show. Make sure you keep up to date on everything going on in the city by following us on Twitter at City of Valdosta and subscribing to our YouTube channel, Metro 17 Valdosta. And stay connected to Metro 17, your station for news and information for more great programming. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to you joining us next time here on City Focus.